yeah. Hey, Tama. Oh, yeah. Hey, Tama.
Good morning, Bulldogs fans. My name is Patrick Sills, and welcome to the Week 6 edition of the SEC Wrap-Up, man. All the SEC football games have been played for the weekend, and it's time to talk about them. Now. There were only 7 games this weekend. Of course, all these SEC teams played against each other, so it was SEC rivalry. It was a lot of SEC football going on yesterday, man, and it was beautiful to watch. So let's start with, the mighty Georgia Bulldogs, who, of course, are the reigning national champions, who played like such yesterday. This was a great game for the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs beat Auburn 42-10. It was a great game. They had 292 team rushing yards, man. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Dejon Edwards had 12 carries for 83 yards. He was averaging 6.9 yards a carry, and that man had 3 touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns all by himself. He beat Auburn by himself. He had 18 points by himself against Auburn. Tennessee took on LSU, and I'm not gonna lie, man, Tennessee is a team to be on the lookout for, especially this dude Hayden Hooker, man. He is a beast. Tennessee won 40-13 with Jabari Smalls had 22 carries for 127 yards. He was averaging 5.8 yards a carry. He had 2 touchdowns. And then Brew McCoy, he had 7 receptions for 140 yards, man. Tennessee beat LSU down, man. They dragged their skull and just scraped it all up and down the ground, man. It was a beautiful thing to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I hate LSU a lot, and I hate Tennessee. But it's something about watching these teams play against each other. It just gives me so much joy. You know what I'm talking about? Arkansas took on Mississippi State. Well, Arkansas lost again, 40-17 this time. Will Rogers had 31 completions for 48 attempts. He had 395 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. This dude, Will Rogers, beat the dog crap out of Arkansas, man. Arkansas was looking like a formidable team coming out of the West, and now they just lost now. There's no SEC championship for you this year, Arkansas. Missouri took on Florida, where Florida won 24-17. I was hoping that Florida would have lost against Missouri, considering that Missouri gave Georgia the fight of their lives last week, and it looked like they just rolled over and died against Florida. Jaden Hill had 2 interceptions, and he returned 1 for a touchdown, man. The dude, Jaden Hill, he started the game off with a pick 6. Florida had 231 team rushing yards, man. They put everybody on the ground. They gave the ball to everybody, and they just ran over everybody. Ole Miss took on Vanderbilt. Ole Miss won 52-28. Ole Miss is still undefeated right now. It's 4 undefeated SEC teams right now. You got Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. Ole Miss is going to be a problem for Alabama. Watch what I tell you. Jason Dart had 25 completions for 32 attempts. He had 448 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, man. This dude, Jason Dart, he went off 400 yards passing. Then Jonathan Mingo, he had 9 receptions for 247 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. This dude had 247 yards receiving. Jonathan Mingo, oh my God. South Carolina took on Kentucky, where South Carolina won 24-14. Now, there was one point in time during the season that Kentucky looked like they were going to be a problem for Georgia. They might still be a problem. But now that they're losing to South Carolina, because we beat the dog smack out of South Carolina, Kentucky. Marshawn Lloyd had 22 carries for 110 yards. He was averaging 5 yards a carry and a touchdown. Kentucky. What happened to the Wildcats? Just a couple weeks ago, they were looking like they were going to give Georgia the fight of their lives. And now, they're only putting up 14 points against South Carolina. And of course, we had Texas A&M taking on Alabama, where Alabama won 24-20. Of course, they were out Bryce Young. Bryce Young was watching this game from the sidelines, and it looked like Alabama was going to lose for a minute because their kicker kept missing field goals. I know he's probably not going to be alive to this morning because he was giving his team problems. He was missing field goals to give them the game. Let me get this name right. Jahmyr Gibbs had 21 carries for 154 yards rushing, and he was averaging 7.3 yards a carry, man. Alabama had no choice but to give their ball to their running backs. They had over 200 yards rushing, and their quarterback, he just maintained the fort. That's all he did. He didn't lose the game, and that's all you can hope for with this team, man. Now, of course, in these standings right now, we still have Georgia at number 1 and Tennessee right behind Georgia in the SEC East. And coming out of the West, you got Alabama and Ole Miss, man. Yes, we got some undefeated teams going head-to-head. Next week, Tennessee versus Alabama. The whole world will be watching that game, including me, because it's going to be a doozy, man. 2 teams that I hate, Alabama, Tennessee. Let's see who's going to lose first, man. Oh, that's why you love SEC football, man. Every game is a playoff game, man. My name is Patrick Seals. Y'all like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know how your team did this week, because my team won. We still undefeated, 6-0. We might be number 1 in the nation after today. I'm Patrick Seals, man. Y'all, I see you when I see you. Peace.